Hey, what's up everybody? Just wanted to make this quick video to kind of go in depth about, I
Eliminate
guess,
all
how to get
hostiles.
better at this game and how to use the new advanced settings, because I didn't really go in depth in the other video that I made about it, but I'll do it in this one. A couple tips I want to give, on how to get better at this game or how to master your sense or anything like that. I suggest you always keep a low vertical, no matter if your horizontal sense is 100 or if it's 40, 30, 60, whatever. And no matter how high or low your ADS is, you should probably keep your vertical sensitivity low, especially if you're on controller and you're not, cheating on the video game or anything, because a low vertical is all you need to control recoil on a joystick. It almost takes no effort to control recoil when you have a low vertical sensitivity. So when I'm controlling recoil on Switch right now, I'm pressing on my stick about 5% of my strength, and I'm already able to control it at probably my best potential. And I'd say let's measure that. That's 34 meters I'm shooting Twitch's gun from, so I'd say that's pretty good recoil control. Next, I'd probably say to be confident in your gunfights. I see a lot of people just hesitating in most of their gunfights. For example, when they see someone ahead of them, they'll start quick peeking or trying to make all these moves to outplay the enemy, but then they always get caught up in their own mistakes and they end up getting killed. I suggest you just go head on, peek the enemy, and don't overthink it too much, but think to a point where you'll probably win the gunfight. But a lot of people just overthink, start thinking about what they could do a little too much, and they get caught in their own trap. Um, what else is there? I'd say map knowledge and game sense is a big one. Like a lot of people go into ranked matches not knowing 3 or 4 maps, thinking that they can just get away with banning them every single time. It's not how it works. It's eventually going to catch up to you and you're just going to play the map, and you're obviously going to get slammed that game because you have no idea how the map works. And lastly, for one of my tips is timing. Timing's really important in this game, and more than your sensitivity or gun skill, that's probably one of the most important, if not the most important tip. You have to understand when to peek, when to get a breach. You kind of have to understand what's going on around you, whether you're defending or attacking, and realize, oh, what situation am I in? Do you think breaching this would help my team or, hurt my team? If I peek this guy right here, do I have the numbers on him? Do I have the advantage over him? It's all a probability. It's all a game of probability, so you want to just increase your chances of winning every gunfight and every round as much as possible. So every little thing that you tick off will obviously help you in that sense. And then going over the advanced ADS settings, if you have already mastered your regular settings. Sorry if I sound a little off, I'm a little bit under the weather, but some of the advanced ADS settings that, I thought were kind of good mentioning if you're using them, but I will go in depth, slightly in depth, for all of them. We'll start with horizontal look acceleration, and I'll tell you what my ADS advanced settings are. Even though I don't use them, I'll tell you what are decent for my sensitivity, which is 25, 70, and 30 ADS. And also, find your FOV, find the correct FOV. I suggest 84 if you want to go super high FOV, but you don't want your game to cut off and lose, and some stuff just blurs out because console doesn't register 90 FOV that well. And then if you want to stay on the lower side, I suggest nothing less than 75. Maybe 78 and above is good, but 84 is honestly perfect. 83 around that range. You can The FOV is perfect. You can see everything. It's not too much. It's not too wide or too narrow. You can process everything throughout the game. This game is perfect in 84 FOV. If this game had 120 FOV, I mean, I'm sure some people would use it, but it would just not be effective. But back to the advanced ADS settings. For horizontal look acceleration, let me turn them on so you guys can see what happens. when I have them on. Horizontal look acceleration obviously is how fast um, your sensitivity speeds up when you're spinning horizontally or turning horizontally. So obviously I turned it on right now, it's at 50. So over time, as I spin, it gets faster. So it's slow at first, and then it just accelerates and gets faster and faster. Um, it's kind of like the updated settings that the game first introduced, to where your settings kind of accelerate over time and they're not consistent throughout your whole time of gameplay. Vertical look acceleration is the same thing, how fast it accelerates to look up and down. It's not really that necessary because in this game you're not going to be looking up and down that often. It's mostly horizontal gameplay, as every other game. Look acceleration delay, I have it on. So my horizontal acceleration percentage is 50. My vertical look acceleration is 15. My look acceleration delay is 0. It's kind of like a dead zone for your look acceleration. So the higher you put it, the longer it'll take to react to it accelerating your look sensitivity for your vertical and horizontal. Look acceleration ramp up time is kind of the opposite of a dead zone. It boosts the acceleration. So if you feel like, oh, 100 is not enough, which I'd be surprised if it weren't, then you can turn up the ramp up time and it'll accelerate faster than before. And next one would be the ADS horizontal acceleration and the ADS vertical acceleration. So it's the same thing as the look acceleration, but it's just for your ADS. It's just how fast, your ADS will accelerate over time, how fast it'll speed up over time. So let's say, you're in a gunfight and you want to turn around. The higher your acceleration, the higher it'll speed up your ADS, and you'll be able to turn around faster while ADS'd. And that goes for vertical or horizontal. And then vertical, once again, you don't need it to be high because you're not going to be aiming up and down as consistently. If you need to shoot a frost mat on a window, you can literally have 10 vertical sensitivity and it'll be enough. Next is the ADS acceleration delay. And so for my horizontal and vertical acceleration, my horizontal acceleration percentage for my ADS was 100. My vertical was 60 or 85, sorry. My ADS acceleration delay is actually on rather than my look. It's on 0.60. So that's why you can't tell that it takes a little while to accelerate on my screen, since I have the dead zone up a little bit to 0.60. And it registers a little later than it would naturally. What else do we have here? ADS acceleration ramp up time, same thing. It's the opposite of the dead zone. It's, let's say you reach your ADS acceleration at 100 and you feel that it's not fast enough, then you just boost that up and it'll boost up your acceleration over time. And I believe, outer threshold. See, that one I feel like a lot of people are having an issue with, so I'll go a little more in depth for that one. Let me just okay. Outer threshold, so the way that the game set it up, you have your inner analog and you have your outer analog. Your outer analog, they labeled it as B, and your inner analog, they labeled it as A. So the higher your outer threshold is, let me show you actually so you get a better look at it. So the more you increase your outer threshold, so value A is for look and ADS acceleration, obviously. This is going to be for your right stick. And A is basically a reverse dead zone. So the amount of pressure you need to apply to where it reacts, the more you increase it, the less it takes. And the lower you have it, the more boundary you have. So you have a lot of space until it reacts. I guess the best way to explain it would be, trying to think. There's obviously so the best way to explain it is that there's a limit on a joystick, obviously. It's not a mouse. You don't have free space. You obviously have a physical limit on your joystick. So the outer threshold, once you increase it, it lowers that limit. So you don't need to put as much effort for it to activate. So it's kind of like a reverse dead zone, like I said. But if it's at 0, you know, you have your entire stick as its physical limit. And then once you've gone towards that, then it'll start activating your look or ADS acceleration. And then look dampening time is kind of a mix between a dead zone and a ramp up time. It's just how do I explain it? It's kind of the balance to from going from boosting up your sense to lowering your sense. So basically, you know, if you're spinning really fast and you're accelerating, or if you're decelerating, um, the look dampening time is kind of the balance for how long it takes for you to get back to your base speed. And obviously, the larger you have it, the larger you have the time, then it's going to take longer to get to the base speed. But the lower you have it, it's going to react a bit more quicker, almost, almost, you know, no dead zone or no effort at all. And yeah, that's about it for the ADS settings. I don't use them. Once again, I mentioned that in other videos, but you know, a lot of people are starting to use them because they feel like, you know, that's the ultimate advantage, especially if the MNK does get nerfed or banned in whatever software they use. It'll be really useful. The advanced ADS settings, it'll take your game up, but it's really hard because there's so many options and variations that if you find your perfect sense, it's probably going to take. It took me 2.5 weeks just to get a decent advanced ADS setting. So that's why I'm coming out with this video so late, because I never mastered it until I truly took my time and played hundreds of Terrace hunts, and then I finally understood it. And that's coming from someone who's been playing this game since the beta, and you know, I enjoy this game. I've understood the way sensitivities work, but this one was a curveball for me. But now that I understand it, it's sort of understandable. But once again, for someone who's playing this game new and this game is getting a lot of new traction, yeah, it's going to be a little hard to navigate through. So they just turn it off completely. But you know, these are my settings here for them. You're welcome to try them with my sense or without my sense. They work for fast sense or low sense as well. My vertical look acceleration for and then my vertical ADS acceleration are obviously always lower than my horizontal, just because you don't need them as often. And yeah, that's about it. I just want to keep it short. I don't want to blast a long video in your face explaining something that takes a few minutes or however many minutes this video is. And yeah, that's basically it. Hopefully it helps you control recoil when your gunfights, you know, help you become a better player, especially for the new season that's coming out. Maybe it'll help you out then. And I hope you enjoy it. And I'll be posting a video this Sunday. And thanks for watching, guys. Have a good rest of your weekend. I'll kind of label what parts of the sensitivities I'm talking about in my description, so you guys don't have to just crawl and skim through every little part of the video to understand what you really want to look at. Also, I just wanted to mention that if anyone ever wants to play with me, um, you can email me or contact me in whatever socials I put in my description. You can message the King KRJ account. It's not my personal account, but I've been playing on the account for a few seasons now. I used to have, you know, I play on multiple accounts, but I don't really have a set main. But if you ever want to play, if you ever want to, you know, learn something about the game, my old account was like level 400 plus. I've been playing this game since beta. I've had quite amount of hours put into this game, a lot of time. So if you want advice, experience, if you just want to play and have a good time, you know, get your ranked up, get your rank up, sorry, then yeah, just feel free to contact me in any way you want. I'll be more than glad to play with you guys. I don't, you guys let me know if you ever want to play, and I'll be down for it.